Hi guys, welcome back to the kitchen table. This week we're going to be doing lesson 25 in reading. So you're going to need your reading hardcover book, okay? Now I put your spelling list up for this week and not all the words, most of the words on our list have the aw sound, okay? But we have three different ways we're making that sound. We're making it with an AW, like in the word lawn. We're making it with an AU, with because, and just with an O in defrost. So we're looking for the letter or letters that are making that aw sound, okay? You'll also notice some vocabulary words at the end of the list, and numerator and denominator, which are two words for fractions. So we've got a lot going on here. All right, let's read the pre-story. It's Johnny Appleseed and his apples. Many people think Johnny Appleseed is a made-up character from a tall tale, like Paul Bunyan or Pecos Bill. In fact, Johnny Appleseed was a real person, even if it was quite an odd character. His true name was John Chapman. He became known as Johnny Appleseed because he planted apple seeds everywhere he went. In the early 1800s, settlers were pushing west. John Chapman had an idea. He thought people should have apples wherever they lived. So he set out with bags of apple seeds from his orchard in Pennsylvania and began to plant apple seeds across the frontier. He traveled all over what is now the Midwestern part of the United States. He had tree nurseries in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Indiana. He gave away and sold many trees. He traded his trees or worked for a meal and slept on the floor. John Chapman was unusual. He wore a coffee sack as a shirt and a tin pot on his head. He never wore shoes, even in the winter. He was a vegetarian and very religious. He got along well with the Native Americans. He didn't seek the comforts that most men wanted. No wonder he became a legend in his own time. Nowadays, people like things to happen fast. Waiting 10 seconds for a computer screen to load can seem like a long time. But it can take 10 years for an apple seed to grow into an apple tree. An apple tree grows like other plants. Seeds begin to form when a grain of pollen from an apple blossom lands on the pistil of another apple blossom. Some seeds grow a pod to cover and protect them. The fruit of the apple covers and protects the apple seeds. Once the apple has ripened, it either falls to the ground and rots or is carried away and eaten. Either way, the seeds can end up in the ground. Rain will then soak the seed and soften its hard outer core. Now the root can crack open the seed and a coat push down into the soil. The shoot can push up and out of the ground. The little apple seed is on its way to becoming a sapling, a small tree. In a few more years, the sapling will become a mature tree that has fruit of its own. The seed from a tasty apple hardly ever grows into a tree that produces more tasty apples. Farmers have known this for thousands of years. That is why tasty apples are grown by grafting. That's where a part of a piece of a good apple tree is carefully attached to a tree that is already growing. The apples that came from Johnny Appleseed's tree may have been filled with nutrition, but most likely they were not very tasty. That's why some historians thought these apples were for making apple cider, a popular drink at the time. Okay, so talking about planting here, I think that might have something to do with our story. Johnny Appleseed, if you've ever seen pictures of him, he was quite unusual looking. Like they said, he wore a pot on his head for his hat, and he wore a coffee sack, which was made out of burlap, a very itchy material, as his clothes. Okay, let's go to page 344 in your textbook and let's look at this week's vocabulary words. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. All right, Frankie's ready. All right, like I said, we're on lesson 25, and the first word is grain. It is hard to pick up only one small grain of rice. Grain is a very small piece of it. Pod. A pod or shell protects the peas as they grow. Soak. The children soak the soil with water to help the seeds grow. Soften. The boiling water will soften the noodles. Root. The root of this plant goes deep into the soil. Shoot. We planted seeds in the ground. Later, we saw a shoot begin to grow. Nutrition. Eating vegetables is a good way to get the nutrition that your body needs. And tasty. I ate the whole apple because it was so tasty. Now, remember they said not all apples are tasty. Like, I happen to like green apples. They're kind of sour. Really, I like all kinds of apples. All right, so you're going to go on and you're going to do 3 workbook pages. You're going to do pages 141, 142, and 143. They're either about our vocabulary spelling words or they're about verbs. We've been working on that. Great job on the reading quiz today, everybody. Okay, see you later. Bye. Have a good day.